Welcome to Pep Talks with Jeannie. I'm your host, Jeannie Pepper. I started doing Pep Talks as a way to inspire you to do intentional acts of kindness and to further the goals of #BlazeItForward. Since its inception, Pep Talks has evolved, and now I use it to interview people actively making a difference in this world through their volunteerism, community service, or careers. My guests are all here because they have dedicated their lives to making this world a better place. Join us as we delve into the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of these truly inspiring and hardworking people. This season, we will be using a panel format in some of our episodes to bring together synergistic guests to discuss topics that weave the social fabric of the world around us. Welcome to another episode of Pep Talks with Jeannie. Today we have in studio Soraya Mire, and I am absolutely thrilled to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Soraya, you are, you're one of the people that I am really just thrilled to meet. You are a goddess, what can I say?
Thank you.
And I'm going to tell everybody why. Soraya wrote a book, and we're going to get a picture of this up for you to see. It's called The Girl with Three Legs. It was published in 2011. So it's not a brand new book, but it's a story that continues to be an issue, and it is a story about female genital mutilation.
Correct.
Which is still an ongoing problem throughout the world. And maybe even in the United States?
Well, it came to United States when I started it as a survivor, I think. When I came to America, I really wanted to work with the refugees, helping women, children, boys, whatever, to assimilate American culture and make a way to keep their culture what is good, but not bring in this tradition of female genital mutilation on all the forms. We have 4 different forms.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that we'll get lawyers, we'll go to different, pro bono lawyers. We just help them get, medical stuff.
Yeah.
And I would find young women who are, going to school, who are suffering with, when they get their period monthly. So I would help them go to the doctor, have corrective surgery.
Because you knew that's what the problem was.
Yes.
Ethnicity.
Yes.
That's when they came over.
Yeah.
And then, so you figured out.
Yeah.
So, Soraya, you are an author. Mm-hmm. You are a filmmaker.
Yes.
You made a documentary about your story and the story of other women.
Yeah.
Called Fire Eyes.
Yes.
And that was the first thing that you did. You did that before you finished your book.
Yes, I came to America actually to do that and also find those refugees, survivors, to talk to them, help them, and make a story about, show them this culture, because it's a taboo. We don't talk about it. That's why I didn't even know what it meant to get the gift. When my mother said, I didn't even know what it meant to have 3 legs, because that's what I used to be called in school, untouchable, like the girl with 3 legs.
We're talking about that. So the book is called The Girl with 3 Legs. Yeah. It's an interesting picture of a broken doll.
That was what I wanted.
Yeah. And the 3rd leg is the female genitalia.
Well, it's kind of like they call you, like they can tell you, the clitoris is going to grow long and dangle between your legs. That's what it is. I didn't even know what it meant. So I remember asking my brother, what does it mean? He goes, no, I have a 3rd leg, and it's reserved for my future wife. And I'm like, I'm not a boy. So I went to my grandmother and asked her. She said, oh, go ask your mom. And when my mom heard, I guess, of talking to my grandma, she said, who's calling you the girl with 3 legs? I said, well, my classmates are just don't want to play with me anymore. What's wrong with me? Why I don't have friends at school? And she said, well, it's time for your gift. I'm like, what gift? And my grandmother was telling her, look, go and talk to your husband, to her father, before you do that. I didn't know the tension between my mom and dad, or him saying, I don't want this to happen to my young 3 kids, 3 girls. I don't want it anymore. We didn't know.
Yeah.
So when my mother took me to say, I'm going to buy you a gift, I thought I would get a dress. And that's what happened.
Okay. So when you were 13, I know your story. I've read it.
Yeah.
But the audience needs to understand
so
how this happened.
I really didn't know anything was different with me, because we never talk about anything from the chin down when we were a girl. We never talk about
growing up in Somalia in the 60s and early 70s.
Yeah, we never talk about sexuality. We don't even know how the babies are made. We know that one day we'll get married. We'll have many hopefully boys. They want a lot of boys, you know. But I never thought of that. I was always a troublemaker at home because they would say things about women that are not clearly understood. And as a child, I wanted to know what they're talking about. Why is man now marrying, bringing the second wife when he already has a wife with 3 kids? They're all girls because they want the boys. Why?
So there was polygamy going on as well.
That's the culture you allow for a woman.
You're allowed to have 4 women.
Yeah.
But your father didn't do that.
Well, he tried, but he couldn't get away with.
Oh, your mother said no. I'm a one-man woman.
Yeah. He had an affair, and I have a half-sister that I didn't know until I came to America. And I'm just,
But that was culturally acceptable?
Yeah. So that day you were asking me, I think, so I went to the store with my mom, and I ended up at a doctor's home to have the correct surgery.
Lovely.
Yeah.
A male doctor.
A male doctor, because girls cannot be done at the hospital. Even though we were from the government, we were the wealthy ones. It's equal opportunity for this tradition.
Isn't that wonderful?
Isn't that weird? So the boys could have circumcision in the clean, what you call it. Yeah. I mean, his home was clean, so like OR.
Yeah.
But it happened there.
It sounded, from the description of what happened to you in the book, it sounded like it was a very barbaric
I didn't even know, I guess,
situation.
I didn't even know. I remember walking into that hallway, and you have all these red doors, all this hallway, long, dark hallway. A young girl the nurse or the mother is bringing her out, and her mouth is open. Like you could see she's screaming, but there's no sound coming out. And once she let the sound out, I felt like the whole, it will just break the walls. And I knew something awful was there. I felt it. It's like you feel it, I'm like, Mom, I want to go home. And she said, no, it's time to get you a gift because it's happened to me. Your grandmother gave it to me. It's time for me to give it to you. No one will call you the girl with 3 legs because now you will get into the circle of womanhood. This is your rite of passage. You will be loved. You'll become like amazing women for the future. I didn't know that. I ran away. Oh. And they got me back and tied me like a goat in that.
Wow. I wish that they let you have a bat mitzvah. That would have been a lot nicer. Oh my God.
No, I didn't even know, but
wow.
Beside that will be.
I mean, if you're gonna pick something that's difficult for a girl to have a rite of passage, why that?
But you know what they said at the end, that's what you expect because this is what destiny is for you.
Yeah.
But I don't think God wanted that for any human being that he created to be in pain like that.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's terrible. Especially from the hands of the mother.
It's so interesting. I mean, America is not innocent of this either. We have a very patriarchal society. Women are losing their rights to control their own bodies here.
You know what I'm telling you right now? The cousins to female genital mutilation, I found the cousin for it. You know who our cousin is? Once you overthrow women's right to choose what she wants to do with her body. That is in America. It's like saying what happens to the third world countries who had no rights to even speak up themselves, say anything. The country that the whole world looked up to. All of us, I remember America. Everybody wanted to come. Even the rich people, we wanted to come to America, right? Mm. Everybody loved, John Travolta and whatever movies he made. Mine was Doris Day. I loved Doris Day. She was always happy. We want happy, joy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
But anyway, so now I'm like, look what's happening in my own country where I call home. I'm an American. I'm Somali American. And women are like, I cry. It's like, it's painful to see what we're going through.
It is painful. It's painful for me to see women that are not pro-choice.
Yeah, everyone has their own rights to do.
I know I don't understand how basic human rights have become political issues.
Well, fear, that's what makes you successful in different form. Even in our world, the more you inflict, sending tanks. Siad Barre used to send them people he feared they will overthrow him, the coup d'etat. He will knock them out. Even my dad. It was a lot going on. As a child, you see it. You gotta kiss that ring. Whatever they say, do it. But when you say no, you're in trouble. So I guess people realize I want to save my family. I want to save my job. I want to save my home. I got to do what. But
But this is why there are so many thugocracies in the Middle East, I believe.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere. In Africa too, because people are, the majority of people are moderate, and they are controlled by very extreme, very power-hungry people.
Yeah, and Somalia now you have, we were talking about, especially this FGM, female genital mutilation. We made, like, for the last 3 decades, we had so much success of educating, helping women midwives getting jobs, paying them. I remember even my first film, Fire Eyes, I paid all these midwives how much they want monthly so they don't cut. I would say, how many you cut a week? Oh, I have 7. I say, I'll pay you for that so you don't do it. But you cannot do, I'm not a millionaire, multimillionaire, but you know what I mean? But
it's illegal now, right?
Well, it was illegal that we started here in America. We made it legal in 96. We voted for that. Remember, the Senate spoke on it. And refugees were bringing this tradition here. We brought them here. We love you. We say we'll give you green cards. We'll take care of you. Everything is well done. Education. And I end up seeing it, women, young girls in pain. I'm like, what? So I investigated and found out that they were doing it. The Sunnah type, the one they, the pricking things and sewing the top one, not the infibulation, the main one. But that's still hurting. And these kids were born in America. They're American children.
Oh.
So put one of them in jail in Atlanta, he was Ethiopian. Now we deported him after he finished his 10-year. So I've been fighting that for, you read it in the book.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
But it's been happening, and we have nurses who are midwives, coming here as refugees, men who are doing it. Not only men, it's mainly women, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I went online to see, like, who's doing this, and they had a lot of these people have very crude instruments that they use.
Yeah.
Razor blades.
It was the one in Atlanta,
Yeah.
When the police called me, I just said,
Just really frightening.
But the fear of tradition, if you have that belonging, what we were talking about, but it's illegal in America. You cannot also take children on vacation for you to go and send them to your grandmother back home to cut them and bring them back. We educated the teachers, the nurses in schools, how to see the changes of the child's behavior, because you shut down. When you are cut, you're no more smiling. You are shut down because you don't know how. That's shocking. That pain is just like unbearable. And you're like, well, is it pain? My mom says she loves me. She's my mom. And now in pain. Is that equal? So that's why a lot of relationships end up, that's all you look for, that pain, and love, that thing, because you get used to that.
Oh, it's so difficult, so challenging. I don't know, as a young person, how you had the strength to stand up to it.
I remember when they brought me from I don't know how long the surgery took, because I was kind of getting vision things. I would see me running away with young girls, running into sweat shop where they do all the sewings, and we becoming like, the material they sewing, because you feel your body when they sew, you feel like that you're in that sewing machine, you know what I mean? Whatever. I got home, I'm like, my mom didn't talk to me, didn't say how you feel, what's going on. I'm so sorry you're in pain. It happened to me before I went to surgery, but I didn't even know. And a stranger would touch me, even though I don't touch myself like that unless I'm peeing and washing myself, cleaning myself after I use the bathroom. And a stranger touching me, especially like someone like my father's age, you know what I mean? Why they say you have to be a proper, you can't look a man cannot touch you until he's your husband. Why is this stranger touch me in this way? What was he pulling out between my legs,
Yeah. And then what about being forced into an arranged marriage?
Yes.
That was a real human rights violation, what they did.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that he chose me when he saw me. I was 5 years old and he was 14. I had no idea. But I will get back to that. But the day I came back from the surgery, I remember I said, I don't want to feel this pain anymore. Sorry. But I want to just die. I don't want to. So within 4 hours, you have to pee, because that stitches, they want to sew if it will release a little bit of the urine, because your legs will be bound for 14 days. You can't walk, so you have to pee on the side. So I said, now I have a power now. That's the only power I have is to say, no, I'm not going to pee. So I refused. So they rushed me to the emergency. And my mother is arguing with the doctor who is saying, this female, I need to remove at least some stitches for her to do it. You know what I mean? So that's where all the infections happened with all that, messing up that thing. But this thing for the marriage, I was addicted to painkillers because every time the pain was just too much, and it's not like I was acting up. I was literally in pain. I would scream like crazy person. So they thought I was losing my mind. They will call the imam to pray Islamic prayer to take the devil out of me. I'm like, no, I'm in pain. You don't understand it. It's just painful that even when you put some hot water or some trying to clean me, I'm in pain. It's burning.
Can mom take the devil out of someone? I need to go to that. I got a lot of devil in me.
I don't know him now, but I hated that. This young man he was. But well, we all have devils, and you're not alone. And we want to work on it. I promise. You want to use that devil to do good things for you and become an angel for you. Don't give him or her the power. All right.
Amen.
You got that. Yes. But so I remember when my father realized that my mother was, because this was the preparation for me to be sent right after college, after high school, to go to college in Geneva, to be with him. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So I had
no idea.
Yeah. So I was in Germany in Bonn at the hospital for them to operate my stomach to remove all these problems they had, problems I had.
They removed the problems, but they left the infibulation.
Yes, and she wouldn't allow it for me to be open. She said that's her second virginity. That's her husband to open, right? So the Dr. Germans are like, oh, this blue eyes. That's why that's why my boyfriend was blue-eyed first one. I'm like, yay. They saved me.
It's the blue eye saved you.
Blue eye saved, because when I woke up in the German hospital, I'm like, what is this? This blue guy looking at me like translation, this embassy guy translating. I'm like, he's a good guy. But that's the healing hand. I never forgot that. That was a beautiful joke there. But so I got better, and they my friends from back in high school in Somalia. Some of them were going to Lausanne somewhere in Geneva college. I'm like, I don't mind going to Geneva now because I have friends. I go to that college, Lausanne, up the mountains. So my mom said, yeah, I'll go to Heidelberg. You just go to your cousin now. I'll meet you there. So I get there, and there's just a feeling that I have this energy is not good. I never met him before, but he's my cousin. I say, hello, how are you?
It's your dad's brother?
No, my mother's brothers.
Your mother's brother's
son.
Okay.
And first thing he did was he took my passport and my travel checks, and I don't know why. So I called my mom. I'm like, why is this man taking my stuff? She said, he would just for your safety. Just see, what do you call it? Keep.
Oh, right. He's going to keep it safe.
Yeah, keep it safe for you. And she came, and we were looking for colleges and blah, blah. And I remember one time when I went to check up for the doctor hospital, trying to get my meds readjusted, right? And we walk in, and he's speaking to this nurse as if he's speaking for me. And mom didn't tell me, because we usually have translator from the embassy, but now it's him. So I said, I hope this person speaks Italian so I could speak Italian or Arabic, you know what I mean? So I could speak to her, but she's, Swiss, and he's speaking to her German. And she's fingers, and he's like charming me, and I just spoke to her, in Italian. And thank God she spoke Italian, and that's when I realized something was up.
Oh.
She's trying to control me, and finally, when I came back after I got the surgery, medications, organized it. 2 nights later, I was serving a dinner. It was my wedding. I had no idea.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Then you know the story.
Yeah, I know the story, but the audience doesn't know the story. But they
they have to read my book. Oh yeah, what happened? Well, I really didn't understand it. How I heard women being arranged marriage. It's like it's a normal, but not in our home. And I helped my sister, who was older than me, escape from that. I helped her escape.
No, your family must have loved that.
was shocked that she wanted to do that, but I wanted to help her. She said, help me, jump off the wall, because usually I'm the one running,
Yeah, you knew how to escape.
how I do check around the neighborhood, investigate strange stuff.
Investigators.
So I helped her do that. And she said it's a stranger because she loves her and my mom wants to marry someone she doesn't want. So I remembered what happened. I'm like, and I didn't know that he was into selling heroin either. So I thought he had sugars all over in his office in the briefcases. But he was abusive. He was very abusive. And my main thing for me was not to get pregnant. I did not want to be stuck there in snow, a foreign country. I don't speak the language. That was French language right there. So he promised my mom when I got better, because I tried to kill me. You read it that, yeah? Right after the marriage, because wedding, it's not really a lovemaking. It's a rape. I don't even know it was a rape until someone told me when I explained what I was feeling, the pain.
Terrible.
Usually it takes 14 days for a woman to be open if she's infibulated, genital mutilation. Yeah, because you have to push and push, So anyway, he said, okay, finally, I give up. I promise your mom you're going to school to learn French, right? So I went to where they have embassy people, family go there. So I went there, and there was a firecracker. This girl from my classmate from Lebanon, I think Palestinian Lebanese, who was just it's just like me when I was child, like curious, want to know everything on your face, So I'm like, oh my God, it's like a mirror back to me when I was a child. This is me at 13, 5 years old. And I loved her because she really cared. She wanted to know what was wrong with me, because I have all these bruises. I'm covering myself, So I'll fight back with him. And she told me when I explained what I'm going through, like she said, that's rape, And I said, I don't want to get pregnant. I didn't write. You read all of that. Yeah. She said, I'll help you. I know women who help other women give hand. I didn't know what that meant. So I read that, and hopefully your name, you can't use your real name. So mine was Red 772. And when you call, and they will explain to you what to expect, but they want you to play a game. I never watched, I don't want to be kind someone who is so abusive to me. And they were adamant I act as if I'm submissive.
Oh, they needed you to do that in order to get you away from him.
Yeah, and that was the hardest thing for me to do. It was the hardest thing.
It was just to go along with it.
And the more I tried to do that, the more he started drinking. That was the strangest thing, and the thing was. So that's how I planned my escape. I played the game so well,
Wow.
And but I really didn't want to get pregnant. That's the problem, and I kept telling them, I said, I want to go now. If you could do it faster, send me whatever you send me. I do not want to get pregnant. Because if I got pregnant, I didn't want to leave. I don't want to be stuck with a baby by myself at, 17, 18 years old? Come on. I don't even know how to live by myself. Come from a culture where family unit is the most important thing, safety. Being alone in a world where you don't know anyone.
I mean, you came to America and you didn't really know anybody here.
That marriage changed me. The rape at college changed me. I became a woman who says, do not come near me if you don't have a good intention.
Yeah.
I could sense you. I will love you, but do not hurt me because I'll hurt you back.
That was your friend's brother that raped you.
Yeah, it was my friend. But I had an American friend, Jeanne, who I'm still friends with her, to Somalian, because I was I care people. When I got my first corrective surgery, I was the first one to get it at Grenoble in France, in that town. I was first person who they saw at the hospital. They didn't know what I had. They didn't know they were pumping me, because I remember that accidental when I took the meds. They rushed me to the emergency and I was bleeding, right? So they wanted to figure out what was going on. They didn't know how to examine me. You know what I mean? So anyway.
And they wanted to open you up, didn't they?
That's the one they called the doctor, the Egyptian doctor who come and talk to me. Yeah, who know my culture, spoke the Arabic with me, calmed me down. And I didn't know what he was talking about. I said, why did they look at me like I was a stranger? He said, they never seen it. What you go through, the rite of, what you had, your rite of passage. But I could do a corrective surgery to help you normally, normalize where you could urine, pee nicely, and you could have your period flow naturally, comfortably, just be. And I'm like, the thing that killed me was, I'm like, what kind of a woman I am? Where I'm at, them looked strange. Where I come from, I was honorable, beautiful woman, now ready for marriage. And I was married, now I'm here. I thought I have freedom. I escaped, now I'm...
cognitive
prison.
dissonance.
Yeah,
right?
I'm like, what
Wow.
the F am I? And that's what he said, I'll do it for free, but you have to agree to go at therapy.
I can't even imagine, like, what how tortured you must have been.
What happened to me was, I had in school, the dormitory, the girl in front of me, I never seen anyone Gothic look. I don't even know what that was. This strange girl with American flag, screaming with everyone, putting American flag, and the students of dormitory, everybody will take, and she puts American flag. She was real American, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I loved her. She looked strange. She's the one who found me and rushed me to the emergency, right? Saved my life. Another a blue-eyed person.
Another blood with these blue eyes.
That's weird. But I loved her. And then my other friend who's Somali, I wanted to say, hey, now I could pee normally. My period doesn't hurt so much because usually it does. It just trips. Sorry, it's so graphic. It's painful. Like you have to take anyway. So I said, I will take you to this Dr. Umar. You don't have to go therapy. And I couldn't say in therapy because you think like you're crazy if you tell my culture you're going to a therapy. Are you crazy? Psychiatrist?
Wow.
But he was therapist, but at the same time sex therapy too. He wanted to help me understand my body. Because the doctor said, I told Umar, I don't know. I said, I'm more in pain now that I don't know what kind of a woman I am. Which world do I belong to now?
Yeah.
Who's going to ever love me, right? But anyway, so another person helped me too. So that's how, when I met the Somalians in school, which I had a hard time, spit on a lot of resistance by the men because they have to follow the tradition. And this is, they're trying to live in different kind of a Western life. Now they have boyfriends, but there's not much they could do. They might do different ways or make whatever,
Yeah.
I said, you got to be you. So I said, let's go and give you this Dr. Omar. And once they found out, I guess, I don't know if it was because he loved me or he wanted me. It was because they were pissed with me, changing girls' minds, saying that you could free yourself. This is your body, and I'm learning. This is what I'm learning, and I don't want to say it from a therapist.
And so that's why Bashir got so angry.
Yeah, I guess. And they do boom, they do like a party thing every Fridays. So my friend Jeanne was her 3 months, the student exchange thing was finishing. She was going back to America, and they had a party for her, reggae party. And I went, and there's something said, just leave. So middle of the night, you could walk. The dormitory campus is big, but you walk and it's safe. And I got back to my dormitory, and next thing I know, my door was completely opened and someone kicked and on top of me. It was just a shock, and that's how the rape happened. It was him. It was just a demon. It wasn't a human being.
Did he go to jail?
I wouldn't know. I sent him. I told him, no jail, just if you could find mental health, like what do you call, put in a mental health place, because I don't think he was normal, in my opinion.
Oh.
So I really don't know after that. They said no jail for him. I said no, because he's lost here. He needs a mental.
But did he get any help?
I'm sure he did.
Oh.
I don't know what they did it with him. Yeah.
That's a very angry.
Yeah. I think something shifted that for me. I was like, I was like a different person. Still loving, kind, caring, but more, I have eyes everywhere. I become like a CIA. I could sense people's energy. I could see. I'm like, oh.
So you were a woman with a mission. You wanted to get your story out.
I wanted to have, my main thing was because of that young girl I saw remember when I was getting the surgery, that girl they were bringing out of the surgery, her cry never left me. For me, I wanted to listen, never forget that cry, because I don't remember who she is and where she's at. I can never tell you. But I didn't want to see that ever again. I didn't want to see a child to go through that pain again, ever.
Yeah, I hear you.
It just brings me back, because that child was just changed my life. And so I wanted to help young women to not go through, I wanted to end female genital mutilation. So I wanted to use my family name, which I wasn't allowed, so I used my grandfather's name, Mire.
Okay.
If you're from Somalia, you will know because only one family, Mire, my fourth.
Was it your mother's family name?
No, my father's grandfather, his great grandfather.
Okay, so
I wasn't allowed my father's name and his father's name.
Okay,
so I'm allowed to use the.
Only he has to go far back.
We have 4 names. Remember, we have 4 names.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I couldn't use my father and his father, so I could use the grandfather or whatever. I used the grandfather, which means fruit.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mire, yeah.
I like
so a fruit of giving nourishment, giving you sweetness instead of bitterness that in life we were being given to.
Oh,
right?
It's very poetic.
Yeah, so I wanted to really spoke to whoever I could find, and that's how I was doing. And these girls were resistant, because of tradition. And most of them were from Djibouti. Djibouti is part of Somalia that French colonized it. So I said, a place where, and my family were sending me money for me to go back to my husband, and he was trying to find me. And in between time, he was arrested because he came to look for me, and I think he was doing a trafficking heroin.
Wonderful.
Anyway, so he never, but I got the flowers from him. So anyway.
Oh, that's who that was from.
I didn't know, but it was one of his people because I saw the 2, remember the Swiss guys who were working with him, those 2 Swiss guys who were working with him. They have to be, I don't think it was him, but the flower was right at my dorm door. And that's when I called my mom. I said, if I die tonight, it's because of you, So they were trying to bring me back with money, you know what I mean? Because, but I didn't want it, I never wanted to go back.
You couldn't.
And then I said, I want to go to America because I need to speak about this, about my life, where they cannot come to me. And my therapist, America, flights go to America too, not only France. So they could come and get you, but you got to take care of you. And at the end, my therapist also, Dr. Nigel, I didn't know that AD, he had some issues. I didn't know that was AIDS. I didn't know what was that. So he died,
Yeah, that's so sad. He's so such a great man.
It was I never forgot, man. He just showed me who I could be.
Wow.
I mean, man, and I asked him when I remember the therapy, I said, excuse me, why am I here? He said, well, you get the surgery for free and this is what you agreed. I said, but what do you know about women? And you're a man, and he looked so frail and whatever. I said, what do you know? He said, I come from, he said, clitoris touched my body when I was coming through my mother's body when she was giving me birth. So I know women.
Yeah.
And he was gay. I didn't know what gay was.
Yeah.
But he changed me because I was so resistant protecting my mom, saying, well, it happened to her, my grandmother, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're talking about you. It's not your mom.
That's a lot for a young person to be able to figure out. I mean,
and he just did it. He's like, I'm here to listen. I want you to talk. And I think what changed me is when he first assessment he gave me was to read books about human sexuality. I was like, what? Even just to see the sketches. I'm like, what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what helped me, and reading more, talking more freely. And he was insistent that I open up and start talking to, other, men. And he said, if you want men or women, I'm like, why would, I said, no, I got to find me. I got to fall in love with me as I am broken, put my pieces together to come in full to bring love into my life.
Yeah. So when you decided that you were going to make this documentary, it wasn't easy for you to get funding for it.
No, I really couldn't. Well, I came in America not speaking the language, right? I know a few words, how to say my name, I'm hungry and blah. So I learned the language. And the Somalian community, I remember I came here as student exchange. And my plan was not to go back and finish the last year of my political science and French literature, because I was the only student exchange in our group who were in the American embassy in Paris who got 2 years visa, not 6 months.
Oh.
I don't know why that American guy did it. He gave me 2 years almost. Yeah.
Oh.
So I wanted to use that as education, right? So I didn't want to go back. So I called my brother who was working in Somali embassy in Belgium and called the embassy in Washington to find Somalians here. and they find my extended cousin who was Iman, the model's brother, Ilyas. Yeah, Ilyas and his wife were in Los Angeles, leaving West Los Angeles. So I was in Duarte, and when I finished the program and got my passport back, I told my, chaperones, I'm not going back to school, to France, Grenoble. They were shocked, but Iman and his wife came and took me to their home. So I went where I could learn English. Then I said, I didn't want to tell them I want to make a film about this story because nobody wanted to talk to you. So I said, I want to meet Somali women here, the refugee Somali women who lived here, educated, who've been here since 60s. Some of them who came as refugees, some of them who just came like to school. So I was into the Somalians. And that time I spoke fluent Somali because I wasn't away for that long. So it was easy for me to speak, with them. And the more I made the connection, I started taping every other week when I go and meet them, Orange County or San Diego or Oakland or San Francisco. My friend who was Somali guy would help me drive everywhere because I couldn't drive, So I made, since when I had the plans, who I thought would be good people, because I wanted to see who was open for this and who were more traditional. Because you don't want to come and say, I want to interview you people. You got to know your subject and people. So you don't want to have a conflict with anyone in your community. Right. It's unhealthy, right? You don't want that.
Well, you were going to have a conflict no matter what you did.
I did. And then the Civil War happened when I got the call, and where all of us, we realized, so now we're like, what we do?
We have nowhere to go.
And that's where now young girls are being raped, now they realize this is inhumane what they did to them. I'm like, you see? Do you understand what I'm saying? But it's still a tradition. It's our culture. Is our Muslim? No, it's not about Muslim or Christian.
There's nothing.
It's body that you torture. Don't use God. Don't use Allah. Don't use Allah. You can't do that.
Do you know how long that tradition has been going on for? Like, can they
see? You knew. Yeah, they found even Egyptian mermen. That's what I was told. They even found them, some form of. It's body modification. It's like how somewhere in West Africa they do this beauty marks, even though it looks strange to us, but to them it's beauty. So this is form of body modification, but not to a child, not to a child.
Yeah, I think that's really the bottom line.
Yeah, because the pain, it goes deeper, because the shock, it sticks into your mind, it never leaves you. That like sound of the scissors cutting your body, flesh, pieces of flesh, it never leaves you. No matter how you heal, I still hear it, but I keep moving forward so I could do a good job for others and for me to stay.
Have you met other Somali women that feel as strongly about it as you do, that are willing to put their lives at risk?
Well, it happened first through the documentary. The last group I had, it was in San Jose. The group I had, nurses, two of them said, I'm going to become a nurse. I'm going to go back home. I said, well, you can't go. It doesn't matter. We're going back. They have hospitals in Kismayo or somewhere in Somalia still working, helping women and children. Yeah.
Helping.
Helping. It's a human rights issue. It's a helping. And we're educating our brothers and our sons to know that this is your mom, this is going to be your wife, this is going to be your future children. You got to have a world where they are welcomed and loved and give nothing but love, but not being hurt.
So this is changing in Somalia.
It changed a lot. I mean, and then you had the models who came in, to be, because they have the spotlight, which we needed them. Please come. I had Waris Diriye, who made a called Desert Flower. Remember that movie? Who came and she said, I want to go speak with you. I said, yeah, let's go. We went to the Senate at the, with Harry Reid, when he was before, God bless him. We spoke at the Senate in Nevada, and then we went to Miss Schroeder, right, in the Congress, right? So we needed Iman, We had others.
Recognized
people who, even though I was known for more activism or spokesperson, but when you have famous people who are uplifting this, the documentary was good. Fire Eyes in Sundance was explosive, was amazing. And going to Oprah show, having Ethiopia.
We're going to talk about that. So you decide you're going to make this documentary. You've got the idea in your head. It was, you were considering, how are you going to pay for this? How are you going to do this? You've never made a film before. How did you learn how to do it? how did you get that? How did this happen?
Just tell people, just everybody you need. Do you know anything about, how to do this? Do you know how do cameras work? How films here?
Well, you were an actress too,
So,
right?
no, before I did that, so what? Yeah, I was doing it like was off Broadway. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to learn how to direct the actors. I wanted to know what the actors were feeling for me to direct them, so I give them a leeway for them to do their craft. I don't want to say, oh, no, stand up here. No, do here. No, I want to feel how you're reading this scene and this line, or even if it's a documentary, I want to make that room feel good, even those who are non-actors to feel they have where they could freely speak and express it, right? So I went to school in West Hollywood, and I learned so much. And through that, because I spoke different languages, and someone said, "Hey, UCLA Film School, they do extensions. You could take 1 class, 2 class. You don't have to be really a student, even though you could go and be a student." So I went to the extension. I said, "Hey, I'm here to learn how to make film, but I speak all these languages. How can we exchange things? What can we do for each other?" We use the extension. It was hilarious that the secretary looked at me like I was from a different world.
Oh, wow.
And then she goes, "Well, we have this Belgian filmmaker who's well known at the documentaries around the world. His name is Dusan Gersi, who needs someone to assist him in class. Translate, and when he cannot make it, we'll teach you how to do his work. Would you willing?" And then you could come, and we have like all these filmmakers who come and give lectures. You could go 1 class. I say, I just want to know directing and writing. If those, I could go in. I don't have to be a student, but I want to go. So that's how UCLA, and I got everything. They give me the cards to go. I got a mentor. How did I make it? So what happened? So I ends up at working for Dr. What's his name? Dusan Gersi.
Yeah.
A UCLA extension. He has a film class, which I learned so much. And then I got a mentor, UCLA Films. His name was Tashomi Gabriel. God bless him. He passed away. So through him, I learned writing, directing, and editing. That time we used to edit flatbed, where you cut, everything. It's not like Avid when we got the Avid, and now we have computers. Like
much easier now.
We were old folks, like cutting and flatbed. It's like a bed like this,
Oh, boy.
So I learned, and then what I did was every other weekend I would pay my friend Ibrahim to help me connect people where I would get maybe 4 women. I'll say I'll make the lunch or dinner. I'll have a camera there, no pressure, no worries. I don't even know how it works, but the guy helped me. I became filming Gushan, the teacher. I was filming him. So I learned how to do it, and the extension guy was helping me. Was a wonderful guy, because I told him I want to be a filmmaker. He's like, "Why?" I said, I came here to make a documentary about this issue. He was crying. I never seen a man cry like that.
Wow.
So he was like this with me. So he would taught me everything, colors, like everything. So I learned how to, so I would borrow, even though not okay for him to loan me cameras from
UCLA.
Not say it.
Yeah.
He would trust me to borrow it for whatever every other weekend. And I would go and I put it, and then he will help me edit. We'll do that things. You know what I mean? So anyway, and then I would have this tape recorder. I will record. So I have to write the documentary. I need to write the script, right? So I would use those interviews for me to have my thoughts, not only mine. And I then shut down and I said, I don't want to talk about me because this is so Hollywood. I'm becoming like Hollywood, right? I said, no, I'm not going to talk. I want to let the story talk itself, just the subject, but I need to get a famous person to direct it, right? So I started helping. I was hired. I was working for Warner Brothers. What's his name? There was what's his name? This guy who left LA Law. What's his name? The LA Law guy.
Not Sorkin.
No. Something. The one who created Law and Order. Anyway, he had something. No, and there's another one. The one who created. What's his name? There's another one. Anyway, it's a show that they had.
Not Aaron Spelling.
It's called Man in a Machine back in Warner Brothers. Anyway, long time ago. And then so the crew liked me. And so I became an assistant to a producer. And through that, I became personal assistant to Lloyd Bridges.
Oh, okay. I saw his picture.
That opened doors for me. So what happened was when he's on the set, he was doing a show, I would sit behind the cameraman. He would say, come to sit me, assistant camera guy. I will watch them, what they were doing, the camera, the way the director was doing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get the money, but I didn't have any famous person. So I went to Iman, and Iman was like, no, I'm not going to be subjects. My money is my body, is my sexuality, it's all, so it was hard for her, even though she's against female genital mutilation. She didn't want to be the face that moment, and she was marrying David Bowie, helping her marry, the wedding thing.
Yeah.
So the closest person I was told to come was Debbie Allen, I think.
Oh, you used the name.
Yeah, Fame, and she was doing Quantum Leap, a show, I think Universal. I think so. So I was invited to come because Iman was filming Michael Jackson thing like that. So
yeah, you
remember the
friendly with the Jackson people,
yeah,
too.
A long time ago. Because he wanted me to be one of like those beautiful actresses, young girl, like videos. And my vision was to human rights, make this documentary, help women. I help myself heal.
Yeah.
And so Debbie Allen didn't want to do it. So I'm like, the way that the discussion was, is just like when you remember what happened to me with that rape thing. Just something came out and said, no, this is mine. I'm doing it. So I was working on a show, and I won Geo Tracker, this car.
Oh, you won a car.
Remember?
And you needed a car. You were desperate.
Yeah, and I saw that vision. It was like, I said, God, I need to go and see Oprah. I have to get money.
Delivered.
I said, I have to get money I said, Oprah is my sister. She doesn't know who I am.
Do you believe in coincidences?
No,
I want the audience to understand. You didn't have a lot of money. You couldn't buy another car.
Huspa. What do you call huspa? What do you call? How do you say numbers? Huspa.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that was working for me.
You had guts, and you were pushing.
I didn't. Yeah, and I would say, because I would use my accent to say, yeah, you didn't understand. This is what I meant. Can you help me?
I love it. That's so smart.
People will laugh and say, I know so and so. So anyway, I was working extras everywhere when I was not doing personal things, when they were, didn't need me. And anyway, so I drove all the way to Oprah show because they wouldn't pick up my phone. They thought I was crazy. So Oprah, producers met. They like, you can't, blah, we don't do that. This is blah, blah. I slept in the car. I came all the way LA. They thought I was lost my mind. I'm like, I can't go back without me seeing Oprah. I came all the way from Los Angeles. Are you kidding me? So I was like, what's your name? I wrote it down, her name, so I'll remember it. You know what I mean? So I guess when I asked her name, she realized, like, this woman is weird. Okay, I'll give you my name, but let's go behind, So I shake Oprah's hand, told her I want to make this documentary. Women are suffering in Africa. You got to help me. She really didn't know what to do with me. She just shook my hand. Oh, I'm sorry. I hear you. Thanks for coming.
Wow.
So I came back and I had long hair here.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to do something. I got to do something. So what I did was I accepted, Alice Walker was working on a documentary.
Alice Walker of The Color Purple.
Yeah, she was, because she knows my friend Thelma Hopp, all these.
Yeah, but she knows Oprah. Oprah was in one of her.
I didn't tell her yet. I didn't tell her because it wasn't a good feeling at that moment, the way the thing happened. Because Oprah, it wasn't Oprah's fault. It was the way I approached them. Yeah. I understand. Because you have to follow the proper way. I come from Somalia. Come on, I've been through a lot.
I think that took a lot of guts.
I had to do what I had to do. Though. Yeah, and then so she said, hey, I'm making the blah, blah offer. I said, well, I'm making mine, help me. So she said, I'm supposed to go to this San Francisco show, ABC, with, this issue. I want you to go instead of me. That opened the door. And that show I was doing in San Francisco, Lawrence Rockefeller's friend saw me, right? And told him about me. And and he wanted to meet me. Remember? So I had to have crew ready. I have to have, script was ready, the budget was ready, but I didn't have any crew. So what I do while I was in that show, when I found out that I got the call in San Francisco, before I came back to LA, hey, someone saw you who knows Rockefeller. Be ready when I got the call, right? So I said, I went to group filmmakers in San Francisco. Do you know anyone who has their own technical, all the cameras, all the grip, everything?
The production team.
Production, person who has it. I want one person who has everything. I don't want to rent the whole thing. I want to rent it from one person. They're like, so let's try, and finally end up this couple in San Francisco. So I went to their place, loved what they had, even though my first time making it, explained to them. And then I said, I need a female also DP, because this is women's project. I need to have more women also. So I said, I need to have women who are on top.
He's smiling over there.
Yeah. And he looked at me like, Casey, I said, I want you, but you will do some section and she will do the main one too.
Yeah.
And this woman, I got it, introduced me, and I got it. So I said, we have to film. So I said, well, I'll get the money. I didn't say Rockefeller because I don't know if I would get it, I said, I will give you everything. I said, I want you to commit to me. If I get the money, are we going to be ready? So they read everything. Okay. Then I came back to LA, went to the community to find, San Diego and here, young girls and refugees for me to talk to them and interview them. I got that. Within the week, I was already sitting in front of Rockefeller, long desk at Rockefeller Center in New York.
And they actually have offices in Rockefeller Center.
Oh, yeah, he had it. God bless him. Yeah, Lawrence Rockefeller, the tall guy. And he was sitting all the way there. I was sitting all the way there. And I had got to come up to him and sit right next to him like she's sitting, instead of me sitting all the way.
Yeah. Yeah, you sat right next to Lawrence.
I was just little, he looked at me, he said, how old are you, 13? So I was 98 pounds. I was struggling to have nobody. So I came and showed him, everything. And then his people were there, the two guys. And he asked me how much I needed. I said I would do a work in progress. I wanted to show something to take it to the festival. That's where people get it. And if you could help me get it more money. And he said, okay, how much you need mentally to live? Because I was living one bedroom. It's like, I don't drink, I don't drink. And then I'm like, whatever. He's like, what do you mean you live $2,000 a month? I said, that's a lot. Is that too much for you?
Wow.
About 2,000.
Wow.
But anyway, so I got the money, okay, for me to get that 75,000 to transfer for me to make the 15-20 minutes thing. And that's what happened. That's what that created the whole thing with all the money. Michael Jackson, Alice Walker.
So you were able to hit on people in Hollywood.
It was helping, like Kodak gave all the film 16 millimeter for free. Kodak, all of it. And Skywalker, everything. UCLA, one room. I had 2 rooms to edit for free.
Wow.
That documentary, everyone came together. LA Times, they came twice to my home and interviewed me and got so much offers from people I never even know. You know what I mean? So it's like how you connect to people, because this subject was horrifying to people. They're like, what? And you looking like this, have this? What? You know what I mean? So tunnel vision. And then that's how the crew came together. We start filming everywhere. And then,
Wow. So this was the time had come. And you were right there to bring it to the attention.
Yeah. And then when we come, my main goal was also to pass a law in America, because everyone follows America. Whatever America does, the whole world used to want to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe
we got to, we would do it. We're going to make it. So anyway, I said, if we pass a law making sure that this is inhumane and it's against human rights, child's rights, women's human rights, and girls' rights of women and young girls' human rights. And I really wanted to speak against boys also in this country, because they weren't doing the girls, but they're doing a lot of the boys. And I got a lot of backlash for it, because don't do that from FGM thing, because I say you can't compete when we're dealing with saving children. Children is children. It doesn't matter what genital they're wearing, right? Even transgender. I love you all. That's all.
God bless.
Yeah. And so that's what happened. And that's, I don't even know how it came together. Even one time we didn't even have money, because I get tired of begging money sometimes. You can't keep sending emails. You can't keep calling people. It becomes redundant. and sometimes you go overtime and, you might have, we were shooting in San Jose, I was telling you. We had to do all this wedding, but it has to be the next day. And because we can't say wedding, can you do it today? So we could film it. My wedding is not, so you have to wait. The crew needs to be paid. We need food. We need.
Yeah, it's people don't understand how.
So we had money we had candles. That's why some will see candle lights. But actually made it beautiful, the scenes. It was beautiful. We had no lights. We had no money.
Wow.
And who came was a Michael Jackson company.
Oh.
Assistant called me and she said, we just transferred it for you.
Oh.
Repaid the crew.
Oh, how amazing.
So God bless him.
God bless. So when it was my understanding that you were getting very close to finishing. It's a week before the Sundance Film Festival. You're supposed to have the film, your finished copy, to the film festival in 4 days. It's not done, and you're out of money, and you've got to finish editing.
Yeah.
And you had
a quick hit.
Yeah, and you had to make a phone call.
I had to make the phone call. That was Alice Walker.
Yeah, and she came through for you.
Yeah, and I said, you know what happened though? That we found out the film was off sync.
Oh,
you know how horrible that is? How
painful.
It's painful.
Yeah,
we have to redo it, right? And now I'm calling Alice, and she goes, "What?" And then for everybody saying we need over 10,000, was it? Whatever.
Yeah, a lot.
She said, "Why are you asking me? Just why didn't you ask me before? Why are you asking me now when it's the last one you have gun to your head?" I said, "I didn't want to do it. I kept begging people. I'm tired of begging. I want to be free."
Yeah, you're a filmmaker. You're not a beggar.
I know. But she's like a family, and she goes, "Don't ever do that again. Don't put yourself in this situation." She was right. Don't ever put.
Well, it's easy to say. It's easy to say, but you were doing the best you could at the time.
Yeah,
you really were.
Yeah. And then middle of the night, whatever earthquake came, and the studio crashed.
Yeah, that's right. And then it was right before the Northridge earthquake in
crashed.
1994.
And you know what happened? By 10 or whatever, 11, whatever, we're all sitting in a corner, all this like him, like everybody.
Because you were in North Hollywood at the time.
Yeah, I moved from Northridge, where actually that house was in half. I moved to North Hollywood to an apartment because I was living in a one-bedroom, which was like a studio thing.
Oh, my God.
I moved another one because I had kind of money now.
Yeah.
Rockefeller.
Ooh, fancy.
Before, no, it was my rent. It was my rent. Yeah, I had a cat, so I could not be homeless. I was a single mom.
You sound like my son. My son with 2 cats has to.
Yeah, I was a single mom cat lady there. So I had to have a home for the cat. So anyway, so when that happened, the crew came. I don't even know how they came. And I came when I saw they were all trying to fix it. And Sundance, we're like, "Are you guys alive?" I said, "No, but the film is kind of dead now." They're like, "What do you mean? It's sold out. People are coming. It's sold out we add days to it. It's sold out even the days. You cannot do this to us." I'm happy. We were happy.
People were so excited to hear your story and see this movie they were not going to start the festival without you.
Yeah, so I did it. So what happened was we finished it. I landed at 3 a.m, remember? And 6:30 in the morning, they had the first screening. And guess what? I thought nobody's going to show up, right? And there were lines, and 2 girls fainted. That's problem. It was so it was full, but 2 girls were just like
maybe they had their period.
No, it was just the pain. It's just the sound of the cry. That girl, I put that sound.
Oh yeah,
and it was well received, and that's how the money. And so whatever money I was getting, which was good, and then I was living off of charging my speaking. Like I would charge like $3,500 an hour to speak, like universities.
Yeah.
Like expensive university, they'll pay like $8,000 for 3 hours because I have to go in class after I lecture the next day, come back and talk to students in class, have question and answers. But usually 35, whatever. And I would speak everywhere. So that was what I was living. But whatever the film was bringing in, with the distribution taking it, women filmmakers would distribute. 2 women, I got it. First women take it, yeah. And then I would make sure that I was helping young girls here. I'll pay their corrective surgery. I would pay like their travels.
Wow.
And $5,000 for anesthesia, and they'll stay with me, heal them for you because they didn't want their family to know. Some of them had American boyfriends who couldn't do anything, and how to help them,
You're a hero.
I would do that, but then you can
Heroic.
Yeah, but the money will go out because this is a documentary.
Yeah, yeah. So where can I see Fire Eyes?
You could see the place called cultureunplugged.com.
Okay, so that's cultureunplugged.com and www.
For free.
Free.
Yeah.
I highly recommend. I have not seen it yet. I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see it tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Alexander Street, which is the distributor right now for it.
Okay. But this is something to see. And we're going to come back with Soraya in our next episode because we have just used up the time. It's been wonderful, but there's a lot more to hear about. So I want everybody to stay tuned and come and listen to the next hour because we're going to be talking about your future plans.
Okay.
You're going to be turning this book into a movie.
Feature film.
Yeah, feature film. And there's a lot to talk about there. And we're going to hear about Hollywood and we're going to hear more about your
very independent
your exciting life and your crusade to end female genital mutilation worldwide. 2030 it's ending. Okay, and we'll see you next time on Pep Talks with Jeannie with Soraya Mire. Hashtag Blaze It Forward is a campaign my family started in 2018 after our son Blaze was murdered. Hashtag Blaze It Forward provides the inspiration to thousands of people to repair the world with intentional acts of kindness. If you would like to learn more about Blaze and how you can make a difference, check out www.blazebernstein.org or join our Facebook group at Hashtag Blaze It Forward. You can also check out my website for this podcast at www.peptalkswithjeannie.com. There you can follow along with my podcasting adventures and learn more about my fascinating guests and their passion projects. I would like to thank all of the volunteers who help make my philanthropic endeavors a reality. Today, that includes my producer, Eli Moskowitz, all of the volunteer crew members who join us, and a special thank you to my son, Jay Bernstein, for the original theme song you hear at the beginning and ending of each show. This has been another episode of Pep Talks with Jeannie. Until next time, keep on making this world a better place.